Hello, welcome everyone to this demo to inTakt, this software that is going to help you to actually develop your whole project from the beginning to the end. Once you have created the subscription that you have chosen, this one will be the view that you will have at the beginning. You have the projects view right here or the archive versions of all the projects that you have. You can see clearly that I have a bunch of projects, but I'm going to show you how to create one from zero. So let's start with this. The first question that's going to ask you is about the name. So I'm going to just put test one and when the date of that project will be. So I will set up that to be the first day of January from this year. And then the first three things that it's going to ask you is areas, task, and dates and durations. Just one thing that you have to understand is that if we think that this is a whole project, meaning that this could be foundations, framing, interiors, and then, I don't know, commissioning, just think about this as inTakt asking you about just one of these phases. You can see clearly right here that phase one is asking you about just one of those. So let's start with one of them. Let's think about that to be the interiors one. Once you have understand that, let me add one area to show you how it looks like. So I can add like floor one, for instance, if we're talking about interiors, could be like that, and then zone 1, zone 2, and zone 3. And I don't have to do this all over again to actually show the rest of them. I can just click duplicate it if I have 5 buildings, so I can just do this another 3 times, and that will be it. So that's kind of that easy for you to just develop the whole building. So you can clearly see that if I click on this show zones section, it will show me that automatically it was created the 3 zones that I auto selected at the beginning. So you can either do that or copy from another project if you have already done that in another previous inTakt project. But for now, I will leave it like that. And just to make it quicker, I can add just one task and I will take the rest of them from another project to show you this. So I'm gonna do this like activity test number 1, and you can see clearly that by default it assigned the color brown, but you can change that right here. But the most important thing is that you can select task properties right here and we'll let you know different sections right here. So actually let me hide all of them to show you an overall first. So you can hear right here first the details where it's gonna ask you the name, the code, and the description. So I will leave it like that for now. The company, so maybe this one could be, I don't know, plumbing, and this is really helpful in the future. So just stay with me with this. So we'll just add this one to be kind of a different colors actually. So I will click it right like that. And then it will ask you the duration. So this is the amount of days that this task requires to actually be done. So I will leave it to 6 days, and as soon as possible is fine. This is only for special occasions, so I will keep that part. The crew site could be 1, 2, or any kind of what you wanted, and the number of crews that you have. So this is kind of the most important thing. The rest of them you can learn by your own in the different tutorials that we have. I will just click on confirm, and as you can see, since we have as a default the 5-day durations per activity, it is showing me inTakt that this specific activity has 6 days. So it's different than this one. But if I want to say no, actually the whole takt, it's gonna be based of 6 days. Maybe we're talking about 6 days duration. You will see that this day it went off, so it automatically showed that it is actually 6 days. So I don't have to actually open these tags to know that. So let me go back to 5 days and put it like that, and actually change this to 6 days. And I'm gonna copy from another project just to show you how it looks a complete project from another one. So I'm gonna put interiors from this one. So I have already made all of these activities, and as you can see, I assigned the colors and the logic behind all of those. So just remind that the order that these activities are set up, meaning from top to bottom, is the order that is gonna be displayed from left to right, meaning like the logic behind this one is that this one happened before this one, and before this one, and this one, and so on. And if you want to change that, you just have to grab it from here and move it around. So it's pretty easy to move those activities as well. And for instance, just last thing I'm gonna show before I jump through the scale and the results of it is that if you click on show menu and click on task properties, now that you are in the middle of that kind of logic of the activities, it will add this kind of overlap section that is asking you for the days overlapping with the predecessor. So it could be either to the left or to the right. So if you have an overlap of 2 days, let me do that with this activity. It will automatically show that like this activity has 3 days of overlap with this activity. So, and if I wanna do the other way around, meaning like I want to do delay with the last activity of 3 days, I can click like that. We should see a gap between these activities. So let me look for that. So before actually I jump through the next one, in case that you don't know how the zoning should be for your tag plan, you can click right here and will automatically go through the inTakt calculator, which they will help you as well. And if you want to change the start of that phase, you can do it right here. So actually, let me just do it to show you that. I'm gonna start it on a Monday. And last, you can add any holidays that you want. Same case, in order for us to be this faster, I'm gonna just set up from another project, and this could be easier for everyone to see how it looks like. So I'm gonna do that, and for interiors, and you can see that I have already set up the Labor Day for Canada and all of that. So this specific project that I just selected is based in Canada. So I will click saved and see how it looks like. So let me zoom out first to show you how the overall inTakt looks like. You can see that we have already some inefficiency gaps. Do you remember the predecessor and successor delay that I just made is right here? And also we can see that there are some activities that, for instance, this activity have the next activity happen here. This is caused because the tag time between the activities is not equal. So that's the reason that we have these kind of weird gaps. If we want to change that, we can just modify the activities or go through the work density analysis and make sure that our activities are level and we have an actual and current and perfect tag time. So before I jump through the details, let me zoom in a little bit and I'm gonna just show you a real example. Now, this is the real example that we have. This is from a real project in Canada from a client that we have that it's great with us as well. So we're gonna show you how it looks like. Right now we're working on this one, and the way that it is shown is that we have already mapped out all the interior sections right here. We have already the framing sections up on the top, and then we have the foundations, civil, and some exterior work already happening as well. So we are right here on May 30. So that's the reason that this one is kind of in blue, but we have the log line right here, and I'm not gonna leave it like that just to show you something else. So if we wanna show some different milestones, we can add it as well, like this one. We put like the end of this phase showing right here, and also the ties between activities or connections, like this one right here, where it shows the connection between the finish of the windows and the start of this activity of insulation. So this is really helpful to let us know that this is the drying of the building. So now that you have seen how a real project looks like, let's go through the details. Now imagine that you have already set up this and you want to see, hey, I want to look how it will flow all of the buildings. So you can go right here and upload your own drawings and set up these zones to actually show to any of your teams how the project will look once you go through any of the days. So if we want to know how it will look actually today, this is how it will look like. Everyone is working on the interior in that activity and makeup air units. And on the floor 4, we can see that the zone D, they have the appliances delivery on that one, and the cleaning construction for the zone B, and also some finishing for the shelving happening as well on that zone. So this is how it looks like. This is really helpful as well to show you how all the building is gonna flow and see if there is any overlap that might not be actually possible. So also, let's go back to the scale. Imagine that you have already set up all of these and you want to share this scale to everyone, and you want to show it in a look ahead or weekly work plan. There is these sections right here. At the very top part of this inTakt, you can see many options, and one of them is an arrow pointing down that says export options. And if you click there, the first 3 options are PDFs, and the first one is the full schedule, the work plan, and the look ahead. Right now, let me click on that third one to show you how it looks like. So here you can see that inTakt already made kind of the whole deal that actually set up the whole font size perfectly, but I'm gonna adjust it a little bit more. So you can see right now that it fits perfectly right here. Let's try with 13. Oh, 14. Oh, actually 14 looks better. So I'm gonna leave it like that. And right here, you can see that you can only see the legend for those specific activities and not anything else. So you can just print this one and set up like, okay, guys, everyone, this is the plan for the next. You can either say 3 weeks, 4 weeks, or 6 weeks, any number of weeks that you want, you can set up right here. So let's imagine that you want the next 4 weeks. And lastly, the last thing that is really helpful as well is that at the very end, let me actually change this one because I changed the number of weeks right there. You can see that we have the zone maps and how the project will look at the end of that week. So this is how it will show the rest of the activities, and you can see the exteriors, the framing, the interiors, and so on. So this is really helpful to have as well. So you can print this one in just one page at the front and at the back, and just be really helpful for everyone to just guide them to do their activities on time. So this is the look ahead view of it. And if I click right here on the work plan, it will let you know how the next week is going to happen. So I'm going to start it on actually today, and you can see clearly right here that there are some hands shaking on some of those boxes. Those represent handoffs, meaning like the end of that activity is the end of that zone, so they are gonna move to another zone, and they have to leave everything clean, ready, and all the materials. So that's the reason that those hands appears right there to show everyone like, hey, you have to be prepared that day because you have a handoff day. Just make sure that the next raid have everything ready for that zone, so you don't leave a mess to that zone for the next raid. So be respectful for everyone. So actually you can modify this a little bit more. You can see that I have some zones, some zone maps at the bottom, but I don't want to look that at the beginning. So I'm gonna set up that to be the font size a little bit bigger. And you can actually say, no, these are too small, not a problem. You can put right here medium version of them, or actually large, which for me it's too big, but you can, if you want to do it, you can do it that way as well. But I'm gonna just put it in medium, which it's my preferred version of it. And at the beginning, you can see that these sections right here is gonna show the face, the area, the zone. And right here, right now, I'm not showing anything because I haven't uploaded the companies on this one. You will start looking at how the companies will show in that section, in that row. You will start looking, okay, if this is let me see, who are these ones? This could be the data interior, like the cleaning crew will be this one. The plumbing are all the green ones, so it will say the company name and all of that. But just because we wanted to keep it as NDA, that's the reason that we didn't upload all the names of the companies, but you got the idea. And other than that, you can clearly see that we have already uploaded the company logos and the company from our end. And also it will automatically display the company from inTakt. So you will have the three of them, and as well a summary of what is the range that we are looking at. And that's basically it about the deliverables. And lastly, something that I think you will find pretty useful as well is that you don't have to only look at this activity like this on this view. If you go through the display options, you can either select label, you can either go through codes instead of names, if you have already memorized most of them, which happen really common with our projects. Or if you just wanna don't look at anything and you just look at the colors, you can do it that way. So I'm gonna just go through the codes, which is my preferred option, and go through if either label, which will show just the names of those activities, or you can go other two options, workforce, which actually on this case, we have already uploaded the crew size for those activities. So you can see these numbers inside of those activities, and that represents the amount of people that they have each of those activities. So you can see that this activity will require 4 manpower to actually achieve this, but these ones only require 1. So and the sum of all of them will appear at the bottom. So you can see that this graphic is showing at the bottom. And with this, it's really helpful to see, okay, what will be the peak of my whole site? And you can make some safety decisions right there that maybe on June, you will have to hire any more security people or anything like that if you want to achieve something like that. And something else that is really helpful is that if you want to go through explain this to any of those traits, you can go through filter, which is this kind of icon right here at the very top right corner of the software. And right here you can do a lot of things, but what I want to show you is that I'm gonna just show the interior part to that member of the team, which is gonna be, I don't know, the plumbing guy. So I'm gonna just focus on the interiors. We're gonna do a pre-con meeting with them. So I'm gonna just select the tag that I just made for them. So plumbing, you can clearly see that I have all of them already uploaded right here. So I'm gonna just focus on the plumbing, and I'm gonna just select apply. And what it will happen is that it will hide everything else but the plumbing activities. So this, we can make some strategic decisions about, hey, maybe we don't need you all of the crews that you have by the end of the August, maybe so you can just lower down the number of manpower that you have with us, but we will need you on April or March or so on, right? So those kind of decisions could be seen right here pretty easily, like at the bottom with this graphic. So this is a pretty common tool that we use as well. And other things that I want to show you as well is that these kind of 3 icons right here that we can see. The first one is just if you want to select multiple activities, that's mainly it. This one is for any milestones, like the one that I just showed, like the end or start of the phases. We have the one-off activity, if there is some activities that are specifically to one of those zones or any specific area, so you can add it right there. But if you want to add one activity to all of the zones, you better do it on the tag settings because that applies to the whole schedule. So that's the difference between each other. Like this view, it's only for one-off activities that you can modify. Like if I make one change right here, it will automatically change it, but just that activity, not the rest of them. You can see that this one keeps at 4. But if I want to do any change like the overall schedule, I just have to do it right here and change that over here and change maybe that one to be 6 days. And now all of the activities for that electrical roofing on ceiling will be changed to 6, right? So I think it was from the very beginning activity. So, but you got the idea. The last thing that I want to show is that this icon right here, the exclamation and in a triangle, you will see that it's represented in some of those activities. Those are roadblocks. So this last icon that I haven't shown is this one, which you can just click on it and it will ask you, okay, if you want to add one roadblock, just let me know which activity is going to apply for. So let's see that we don't have the material for these potty walls, or let me actually do the boarding suites or anything like that. I can just click on that one. I can set up the finish date that we needed. And I don't know, missing material. I can add it like that. And I can add a responsible for that one as well. So I'm gonna just click myself and add roadblock. And what it will happen is that it will appear this icon right here. And if I go to the report sections right here, you can see that I can go to the roadblock log and see all of those roadblocks that we haven't accomplished. And if we have, we just have to click right here on this checkbox and it will automatically delete that icon from the schedule. So that's kind of, it will show, and it's really helpful to keep track of those problems and just start thinking ahead instead of just thinking of the problems that we already have. So that's mainly it. If you want to dive in a little bit more, please let us know or contact any of us. I hope that you find this helpful, and that's it.